So just keep it to no 4-letter words. Just don't swear. Is that the coach, the guy with the blues?
Yeah. Yeah, so saying he's all hipped up. It's
cool.
Right now.
Radio station, it's consistently great community volunteers too, but not counting them.
We'll see.
About, I'd say, 50 to 60 people consistently. Like some people just had shows.
So here's the deal. They're not wearing uniforms.
Yeah.
That's what they're wearing. They're wearing the t-shirt.
Right.
So they didn't know if we were coming or not. So they decided to go t-shirt.
Yeah, the one-day programming that goes on and
That's a very good question. I'll wing it. We're not going to know. If we want to specifically know people who are scoring, we should definitely get somebody down field level. Maybe even with the wireless to find out, or at least just somehow transmit back up here who scored the best.
Why don't we have one of the girls that's not playing, or are they all playing?
They're all playing. They're all playing. They're going to do this.
Anybody injured?
No. They're subbing them.
So we can have.
In and out.
Is there like an assistant coach that'll be available up here? Or?
The assistants are the ones coaching.
Who else knows the girls? That's my only. My last hope would be
Nobody, because there's apparently 27 freshmen. So.
Well, this will be a challenge, gentlemen.
Yeah. It happens. Fantastic.
I mean, how would it go? Conceivably, red ends off the blue, takes the blue number 2. Big shoes, big shoes.
We do have names and stuff.
Yeah.
We can announce. We can say who the starters are.
Well, is this going up anywhere?
Trying to go live.
Well, I mean, are we
So is your voice really good?
Are we going to be archiving this?
Probably won't.
That's probably a good thing.
Our Spartan pride may come out a little bit. I got names. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. NJ.ORG Varsity presenting high school soccer. It is an intra-squad scrimmage here at Paramus High School, the blue-white intra-squad scrimmage, which the Spartans take place in every year. And we are underway. There are a couple Spartans. I will let my partner introduce himself and tell you he's here too.
I am Joe Vasile here on the broadcast night. It's always fun to see these blue and white games, just get a feel for where the teams are going to be this year.
And I'm Brett Luthner. He's class of 2010. I'm a little bit older, 1992 here. But we're both Spartan graduates, so we'll give you just some insight as to the Spartan facilities here in the program, and look forward to the season coming up here as we have this blue-white intra-squad scrimmage. White going from right to left, and the blue, or more like navy, going left to right here. They're setting up to play 4 20-minute quarters just to get everybody in and out. And we were talking with the coaching staff before the game, and they got a lot of freshmen to look at.
Yeah, certainly 27 incoming freshmen this season, and, well, they're using this game and obviously the rest of their scrimmages as well to just try and see what they've got. But this game's a lot about seeing what the freshmen can do now up against the upperclassmen of this team.
And it looks like the blue team wanting to play a 3-4-3 formation, 3-4-3 diamond no less here in the first half, which is a very attacking formation, just trying to get the feel of things as this one's played into the white end. And, of course, at an intra-squad scrimmage, it's a team bonding experience. And the girls will always create, or the coaches as well, create some creative names for this one. And the Nutellas, they've decided to call themselves on the blue side, playing a 3-4-3 to start this thing off here.
Yeah, but bend it like Birdie, the white team, is really trying to get control here. They seem to be in control of the ball pretty much this entire time.
As this one's played ahead. And again, we don't have numbers on any of the players as this is an intra-squad scrimmage. And so just to get it out there, just looking at the team here, last year going 10-9-2, as this one's in the midfield right now, and the blue team controlling an above 500 season, which was good for the Spartans. But a very difficult schedule as this one comes to the keeper. A very difficult schedule, and one of the things they're going to have to rely on is their junior goalkeeper, Nicole DiPasquale.
Yeah, Nicole DiPasquale actually is the daughter of, well, a former gym teacher here at Paramus High School, an outstanding athlete. Vic DiPasquale is now his daughter, living on the legacy here. She also plays softball, I believe. Know that from a couple of years of working with her over at the fireplace on the other side of town.
Which has got some of the best food in town, mind you. I was just there the other day, actually. This one just outside the area, the blue team trying to move forward. Shot towards, or pass actually towards goal, is just cut off and eventually back to the keeper. And again, just looking at it here, the keeper for the blue team, which is to our left, is Lauren Cortez. And it'll be interesting to see if she gets how much pressure she gets in this game. It looked like she was going to get some early on, and then everything kept off a little bit. Cortez, the sophomore, getting the nod in the first half of play thus far. On a team, the squad looking at 12 seniors as they're keeping an eye on this one. Nice long ball played through, coming out and able to make the easy play. And again, this is something here when you have to play a team like Northern Highlands, I mean, 73, 0-1 in the last 3 years. It's just unstoppable, undisputedly the number one team in the state 3 years running. They got to play IHA. They're going to have to play Ridgewood twice. They're going to have to play Ramapo. A lot of opponents. This is something that, exercises like this can really do well to build the team.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, like they were saying, it's a lot about also team bonding, finding that chemistry together, and just being together as a team, because in a sport such as soccer, that is of the utmost importance. You have to have that kind of chemistry if you're going to be successful.
For those watching on the webcast, the yellow lines are the ones we're going by here. Those are the soccer lines. The red lines on the field are for the lacrosse teams. And, of course, the white, as you would tell so often, is gridiron, otherwise known as American football in this country. Dee Pasquale's in the goal to our right, by the way, as she's been not really tested, but having to come out a little bit to make plays early on.
And I'm going to say, well, we're talking a little bit about the field. It looks a little different from the last time you were here.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. When I graduated in 1992, it was pretty much more or less a mud bowl. They did resod the field several times. It got better over time, but finally putting in this lovely field turf surface. And as the football team has gotten better and better each and every year, they've given them a surface now to play on that reflects that. And each year you see something different here at Paramus High School being added to improve the athletic facilities here. I'm looking to the left of me would be the hut down there.
Yeah.
Everybody... you always got to go get some concessions and whatnot, but it's looking a little bit larger now.
Yeah, I was going to say that's even a lot bigger from last time I was here, just 4 years ago. And also they put this turf in right after I graduated, so never actually got to get a chance to get out on it until really today.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful out there still.
It is a firm turf. It's not been worn in too much. It's a couple of years old, as you said, but it's still firm. It's still very good to play on here. But, of course, when you're playing soccer, some will always have the argument they'd rather play on the natural grass. But if you're not going to, this is the next best kind of surface, as opposed to the old AstroTurf days when the Cosmos played at Giant Stadium. This one down the far sideline as the white team going right to left, trying to attack here in the first half. And 4 blue defenders surrounding and eventually dispossessing of the ball. And everything staying on the far sideline here. White trying to get themselves something here in the first half. Building up pressure here, and the pass back to the midfield's cut off and eventually cleared away. Joe and I, and of all things, as we find out as we talk before the game and everything, Joe and I pretty much neighbors at one point in our life, living down the block from each other.
Same as a small world.
Same street, yeah, small world, exactly. Talking about all the good old days here. This is a nice opportunity, but a shot goes wanting wide of the cage. It'll be a goal kick for the blue team here. They are playing 4 20-minute quarters just to try to get a feel of everything. There'll be full-scale substitutions here in this game. And they'll do it for each of the 4 quarters. Again, the blue-white scrimmage here at Paramus High School. George Hodgins Stadium on the campus of Paramus High. And again, it speaks a lot that finally, when I was a student here, they didn't put anything into the athletic facilities. Nobody really thought of it back then. Complacency was the order of the day. And then as, the non-public schools, as the parochials back then, built up their facilities, everybody realized, we got to do the same thing for our kids. And it's a credit to the taxpayers here in Paramus, to really help build these facilities. It's a gorgeous facility here at Paramus.
Yeah, because I remember when I was, just coming into high school here, one of the big things was all the good athletes would go either to Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, or the girls IHA, AHA. They decided to go there, but now that Paramus is starting to build it up, they've got a new weight room that they added on a few years ago, the new athletic facilities here at Hodgins Stadium. It's been very big towards helping to keep and retain some of those higher-end athletes.
This opportunity here for the white team again to try to break through, but good defending by blue. And again, the coaching staff trying to not just build, team chemistry here, and that's why you're not seeing a lot of hard tackles going in here. The players are getting a good run in, but they're not going to go all out. And that's the one thing to look at in these games is just, the team building, the team bonding, that was almost an illegal throw. And, of course, just seeing what kind of talent you got as was mentioned at the top, 27 freshmen they're looking at. You never know if you're going to find that diamond in the rough. In the meantime, White bringing it forward. And again, further on, this is going to be a 2-on-2 with some backtracking defenders here. A long shot towards goal, and it's going to go in. Not able to quite get mitts on it, a little bit above. Cortez couldn't secure it, and the White All-Stars have put the first one in the net here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that was actually just more of an idea of just trying to cross it over towards the middle, and then, got it a little close to the goal. Cortez, like you said, just hit her hands and then caromed right into the net. Just an unfortunate bounce that time.
There's a nice, strong breeze. It is coming as these players are going far side to near side, and really right into our press box, and that may have had something to do with the goal as we're looking at the flag down at that far, down our left side. It's into a corner, so that the wind might have taken that one on Cortez a little bit too. And again, it's a pretty strong breeze out there today when you got that American flag getting close to being stiff out there.
And I have to say, it is a very refreshing breeze that is coming in here to the press box. Because as much as they have built it up, they have yet to put air conditioning up here in the press box. I'm sure that's very low down on their priorities.
Well, considering that most of the games are played in this stadium in the fall, nice play through and nearly an opportunity for number 2, but it goes wide of the mark. And it'll be a corner kick. So first chance to see a set piece here, and it'll come from the White team. Considering that most of the games are played in the fall and winter in this facility, I don't think I think they're more worried if the heat is in here than the AC. I speak from experience on this one. Although this is one of the larger high school press boxes I've been in, and this one comes through. Nice opportunity. Chested down, but Cortez makes the save and distributes out to her right. And it'll get the blue team moving forward across the midfield stripe. Opportunity here is cut off a little bit and will be sent back the other way. And the scoreboard not on, so we can only guesstimate as to how much time has elapsed. Probably about halfway through, maybe a little bit more of the first quarter of a 1-0 lead for the White team. Again, it's something when you look at this, trying to get in, obviously Di Pasquale in goal. She played her best soccer of the year last year at the end of the season, last season. You also got defenders Erica McCausland, Julia Cunningham, probably featuring in whatever formation, whether they go 3-4-3, 4-4-3, or 4-3-3, I should say, you're looking at another couple seniors, Kelsey Sedekassi and Katie Weiss. They're trying to bring the scoring attack for this team. It's a lot of players to look at. So, if you were coach, do you try to concentrate on the defensive end, on the attacking end? What would you try to do?
Honestly, it really depends a lot on what I'm seeing out of the freshmen here early on in this game. You like to see maybe some of your freshman defenders going up against Sedekassi, and maybe you like to see some of your freshman attackers going up against McCausland and Cunningham just to see what you can get out of them, and then go from there. It's still very early on, though, in this scrimmage and the practice season here before games get started in just a few weeks.
And a nice play there just a moment ago to paw it away. Good job out of Cortez to get an opportunity aside now. Trying to get through is the blue team, but can't quite break the defense here. 1-0 White in the lead here in the blue-white inter-squad scrimmage for Paramus High School leading into the 2014 girls soccer season. Of course, last year, Noel Hodgins, one of the big playmakers. She's obviously moved on to the collegiate level. And as we had mentioned before, Northern Highlands, IHA, Ramapo, and Ridgewood twice on their schedule. Not going to be an easy task for this team.
It certainly won't, and especially with all of those opponents being very tough, very good teams. And there's been a lot of shake-up in the conferences up here in North Jersey over the last few years. And Paramus just got a really, really tough draw this year, the way things look. ended up coming.
Now we're out far, near side, I should say, left side for the white team. Nice defensive play, back out to the midfield, where it'll be picked up once again. Nice through ball here, left side, just a little too much pace on it, though. And it'll run out for a goal kick. Brett Luthner, Joe Facile here in Spartan Country, Paramus High School, George Hodgins Stadium, for the blue-white intra-squad scrimmage here on NJ.ORG Varsity. Of course, keep an eye on NJ.ORG Varsity for all sorts of sports coverage all season long. Soccer, football, girls volleyball. We'll try to cover that and more here during the course of the fall season, and then, of course, carrying over into winter and spring as well on NJ.ORG Varsity.
Yeah, got a chance to do some lacrosse games on here last spring. I have to tell you, that sport is insane. I don't know why anyone would play. It's great, but you got to be a little crazy.
Oh, either that or just very, very tough.
Well, yeah, one and the same.
This one a little too far out on the pass, and it'll be a white throw-in as we're nearing the end of this first quarter of play here at Hodgins. It's always interesting, the mindset. Obviously, no one out here wants to create injury or whatnot, so you're not going to see any of the knocks or any of this, any of the hard tackles, as this one's played back to Cortez. But still, it's a matter of trying to find your feet, and trying to find out what's going to work best. As this one gets played down the far sideline, cross in is deflected, and Cortez is going to call everybody off. And you can see right there, strong goalkeeping in that instance.
Yeah, certainly made up for the mistake the last time, was able to grasp that one firmly after it looked like it deflected off of one of the defenders' heads.
Comes back through, White trying to put one through again down the far sideline. This is going to run out, and it'll be a White throw-in. And again, it's something that, maybe you can find something, in the formation or in the style of attack, how the players are moving forward and reacting to this, that maybe, flips a different switch on and lets the coaching staff decide to go different tactically. Nice chest down and then cleared out. White putting on some pressure here. And you might see the girls start to pick up their intensity level, as they're all competitors, so no one's going to back down from anybody in terms of, if they want to win. But at the same time, I think everybody understands, too, that to an extent, it's not getting anybody injured in this one. Follow NJ.ORG Varsity on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All three. It's NJ.ORG Varsity on all social media platforms. This one now played into the white half of the field, and the blue team trying to move forward for an equalizer against what will be starting goalkeeper Di Pasquale.
It looks like we've got some of the boys' soccer teams just starting to file in over to the student section, going to check out and support the girls' team.
And I'll tell you this,
nice to see.
It's always nice to see, and it was, to be honest with you, I never got that sense when I was in school here that there was that kind of support where everybody came out to watch everybody. It was like, we'll go watch the football game sometimes, but they never really drew much of a crowd. But, of course, as time has gone on, the community has bonded over the athletic teams here at Paramus High School, and you can see, obviously, the facilities are just fine high school facilities here.
Yeah, the football team, once it started getting good, kind of when I was there, and they hired the new coach, Dan Sabella, to take over and really turn the program around, they started drawing bigger and bigger crowds and got a lot of student support. And really, the wrestling, too, was a sport that drew big crowds of some very, very vocal students.
Well, the wrestling team for ages in this place has been one of the top teams at Paramus High School. Just tons and tons of success. When I was in school here, they were a very successful program. As this one gets played out wide, will it be too far of a run? Nope, it's going to stay in play, and the white team has a chance here.
Joe Servino is the coach there for ever and ever, I think.
Oh, a brilliant save there by Cortez. Rebound is loose, eventually cleared away, and another shot's going to go high and wide. Cortez made a nice save just now.
Yeah, it certainly was. And we saw the mistake a little bit earlier, but you're also seeing a little bit of the potential right there on that one. A nice fast reaction to make that save on a close-range shot.
And she'll probably be backing up this season. She'll probably be the backup to Di Pasquale, but you're seeing that potential, and looks like she'll be in line for 2 years of starting duty once Di Pasquale, or 1 year I should say, Di Pasquale's a junior, at least 1 year of starting duty. And listen, if Di Pasquale goes down with an injury, you need to have a capable backup.
Certainly.
And back to what we were saying, though, Jerry Servino, of course, and he was my one of my teachers here, too.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And
gym teacher and baseball coach.
And just, such a successful program. And every year it was Paramus and High Point going at it for wrestling titles in the group, in the district. And so the whistle is now blown. The first 20 minutes have come to an end. Joe, before we get out, your thoughts on what you saw in these 20 minutes?
Well, you could certainly see a lot of potential in both of these teams, but obviously a lot of work still needs to be done, working out some of the kinks in the rust, and, then just finding that chemistry with one another. But certainly looks like there are definitely some pieces, and this could be a very good year. Watch us live and on demand, NJ.ORG/Varsity. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, NJ.ORG Varsity. Our coverage of the blue-white intra-squad scrimmage, Paramus High School, the venue.